ready to go rogue. Welcome to another episode of Overly Demotional, and I am going to be playing Rogue Factory, Automation Bullet Heaven. And you build your custom spell-casting factory and tear through endless waves of monsters. Bullet Heaven? Automated factory? This sounds like it could be something. Time for a new run, everybody. Let's see what we're doing. Okay, this may take longer on first launch. Oh no. Welcome to Rogue Factory. Thank you. I'm going to show you how to set up a basic factory. This is a sink. It's a portal... Oh my god. This is a sink. It's a portal to deposit spells. When a spell is deposited, you will cast it on the battlefield. You start with 1. Here. Click the sink. Okay. Place the sink onto the factory grid. Okay. This is a shop. You can buy new parts for your factory with gold you've collected on the battlefield. Buy an assembler to continue. Well, I mean, it's a dollar symbol, it's not gold, but later you'll unlock higher tiered assemblers to combine multiple inputs and craft more powerful spells. Select your input assembler to continue, and we're gonna put it right here, and oh no, is this the last starship again? I mean, it is pretty straightforward so far, so that's good, very easy to understand. When you're done with your current factory session, return to the battlefield and test out the spells you've created. Okay. It's vampire survivors. Get there in time to add to the factory before it's too late. Oh. Every 6 levels you will be hexed and parts of your factory will be deactivated. You'll be able to see upcoming hexes here 2 levels in advance. Okay. Stop yawning. Okay, Spiritus Source. Source node that emits Spiritus. The base element of fluidity. Fireball craft time. Okay, that's the assembler 1. And then the anima source. The base element is flammability. Okay. Okay, so that would essentially make 2 fireballs. What happens if I do that? Okay, I guess merging things isn't really going to work. Ice chunks are just going to go in there. I have absolutely no idea what that does. Oh, okay, so there's one that does 2. Reconfiguring here, folks. Take this, take that. And now I'm gonna see what actually happens. Oh, we've got a new thing. Force field. Ooh, okay. This is a weird game. Okay, I've made a force field by combining 2 things. I like that the wizard has just a large wrench. Okay, what's the luxurious scroll? Oh. Are these attached, or are they just part of the grid? It does not take long for this to open up. I have enough money to get power crystal. So if I put the power crystal right here, that makes it faster? Yeah, okay, that makes it faster. This is a weird game. I'm not going to lie. This is a very odd game. Who sat there and said, like, hey, what about if we did, like, a Bullet Heaven? Let's make vampire survivors, but also, there's a whole factory crafting game in the middle of it. Okay, so these can go into each other. Oof. Okay, so... put that there. How am I putting this together? Is this good? I am at the point where I can kind of just stay here. Do I have to go through the portal? If things are working very well. Now I'm wondering how long I can stay out here and just not go through the portal. I will say it's kind of annoying, the idea that you have to go through the portal like every 30 seconds so that you can reconfigure your whole factory. I'm getting a lot of money, though. I'm just gonna stay out here for a little bit. I have so much money now. Totem grants 25% chance to generate 2 scrolls on level up for each bird totem. Okay, so let's see. We've got an assembler 3. Put assembler 3 here. And let's see here. I've got a corpus source, corpus source, corpus source. So I think technically deactivated to level 7? Is there a reason for that? Not quite sure why these are suddenly not going to work for this. That is not explained. It's interesting to do this in this format, but I don't really know if this is a great idea. I think the benefit of Bullet Heavens is that, like, frenetic fast pace, and then putting the factory part into it kind of slows it way, way down. And really makes you just stop and, like, play around with that, and you have to do it near constantly, too. Like, I gotta go back in here so that we can get this up in Squirrel Totem. This totem increases all assembler crafting speed? Yeah, sure. Totem grants 5% attack size. I'm just putting totems all over the place. I don't really know what more I have to do. Yeah, you spend a lot of time in the factory part. And then this part does not really take very long. You ultimately would probably just die anyway. Oh boy. I think I forgot how to bullet heaven. So you're not building a factory and then attacking people with what you're building in the factory. You're using the factory to craft the spells that you're going to use in the... Yeah. It's an interesting idea, but it's very weird, and I don't think it works for me. I'll tell you the real reason why is because the factory part, you know, in a lot of games, you know, you can make it work. The automation thing can be a lot of fun if you're, like, incrementally stepping up and figuring out better ways to do that, especially with, like, mining games. Or, you know, crafting games. A Satisfactory, that kind of thing. Bullet Heavens work out real well because they are very simple, very straightforward. You keep picking your upgrades. Like, great examples of that are, you know, obviously Vampire Survivors, which was the one that really put it on the map. But then also, like, Nimrods, which is like a shooter version of that is also frenetic, and you get constant upgrades and things like that. So, you know, try to outpace your opponents. Pesticide not required, which I like a lot, which is actually has like a little bit of almost like the farming and fishing and mining thing as you're going around the map to collect resources and everything like that, which also has mechanics that you can utilize, which is very fun. Those are ones that are able to do something really interesting with that while not losing the speed of the game. You know, really, like, keeping it very much on pace so that it's always moving, it's always flowing. But that's not the kind of thing that you get with an assembly line game where you have to, like, methodically figure out, like, how you're building these things. This actually looks and feels a lot more like a little rocket factory or something like that. Those two things just don't work so well together, and it has everything to do with the pacing of it. You know, I spend 30 seconds in the bullet heaven part, and then they say, okay, now you gotta level up, and you level up and you get back onto your grid, and then you spend minutes upon minutes trying to, like, figure out how you're going to make your attacks work. When the truth of the matter is, all you've really done is try to create an automation, like, factory assembly line system for the basic spells that most of these types of games would just have as an option for you to take upon level up. So we've taken that thing that usually takes you like 5 seconds, 10 seconds to make a decision, and we've expanded that out, slowed it down essentially, so that it takes several minutes to actually work out how you want to do this very specific kind of spell. I've talked about this before, is that sometimes you have two different genres that just people will try to put them together, and it seems like, oh yeah, I like this thing, I like this thing. You put your peanut butter in my chocolate, you put your chocolate in my peanut butter. And you sit there and you say, oh, yeah, I do like those two things, let's throw them together. But a lot of times that doesn't work. And the reason why it doesn't work is because you inevitably end up losing a lot of the spirit of one or the other of these things in how you're playing it. You know, I don't really think that trying to combine like Dark Souls and Halo would work. And the reason is very simply that Dark Souls is supposed to be a methodical, slow, careful, tactical RPG with like real repercussions and real risk reward thing that you're always feeling it every single time. Halo is a fast-paced shooter, and it would be very difficult for you to build a game where you would be able to combine those two things, because the whole spirit of those games is very, very different. Midnight Acres, I had talked about before. I hate to do it because Midnight Acres is from a small company, but I really, really did not like it. And the reason is because they were like, well, what about if we had a tower defense game, but also it's a farming game? And it's like, well, those two things elicit very different opinions in my head. A tower defense game, you're in strategy mode, and you've got a mindset for that. And then a farming game is a farming game. So now I have these two completely different things going on in my head about like what I'm trying to achieve. Sometimes you can mix genres and you can do it in a really fun and interesting way, but you inevitably have to prioritize one over the other. And if you're doing a bullet heaven, I would always say, like, try to make the bullet heaven just the focal point, because if I'm playing that, it's really for the pace and the speed and the fun and the action of it, right? It's got to keep moving. It's got to keep flowing. And unfortunately, when you put a factory piece into that, it slows that way down. And then you have like all of these hurry up and wait moments with Rogue Factory. It's a very tonal difference there that doesn't work for me. I do appreciate that they tried, because it's a very interesting idea, but for me personally, it just those two things just don't seem to work very well in this format. This is my fate. This is my self-imposed fate, is to just play demos forever now. Why did I do this to myself? Sometimes we make our own hell.